Welcome to our new podcast,
Welcome.
to a new episode. Today we bring a special guest onto our podcast. He's a special guest to this university as well as to the sporting community all around the world. Not only is he a big person in the coaching industry for fencing, as well as he's a big persona for the refereeing community all around the world. And he's also a very special person to me since he is my dad. So welcome, Adam. Very happy to both of us to have you on the podcast.
Hey guys, thank you for having me here to hear.
Yeah. Just how you like the little space, how you like the studio?
Yeah, it's nice. Like the color is little creepy, but it's okay. We can handle this. I think the green make me more calm.
Okay. That's good to know. Well, we were thinking about putting posters or something so it feels a little bit better. Green
It's
is
okay.
green is a little green screening, and then it
Yeah.
kind of looks like
Yeah, you can add something behind me, like
exactly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
green, but it's okay.
So I guess we'll start off by just kind of like asking you, how did your journey begin? Because we know that you're a fencing coach. I know you're a fencing coach. Chase at this point already knows
Yeah.
too. But
I've heard quite a bit.
yeah. So how did your journey with fencing even start off? Because you are born in Gdańsk, as I am, and born in Poland, raised in Poland. And so your journey with fencing, how did it even start off?
It's a little tricky because when I was on the third grade in my district school, there was the posters that the sports school of Gdańsk, let's call it this way because it was multi-sport school. They were making tryouts for the kids from the area. I was kind of active kid, making a lot of troubles to their parents. So yeah, my parents decided to send me there for the fourth grade. And then the first semester was fencing. And then the second semester was track and field, which was my target. And yeah, I was running some things and jumping, climbing everywhere. I wasn't really think about fencing going to that school. The thing is also I'm left-handed. And in the first semester when the fencing, they introduced us to fencing, sport of fencing. Yeah, we did that first semester. And I didn't know that I'm gonna be good in that or something. For me, it was like, okay, white pants, white jackets. What is this? You put something on your face, you fight. It was okay. It wasn't like my target at all. Then the second semester, track and field, blah blah blah, and I feel like I was fast. I feel like I was doing great, but the coaches were already like, "Oh yeah, you left-handed." Okay, yeah. And then at the end of the fourth grade, I got a letter from the school. The parents got a letter from the school that I got selected to the fencing class. So I can move to the sports school and I can stay there under condition that I will do fencing. So I was crying that day. That was very not funny day in my life that I said like, nope, I want to go track and field. I don't want to do fencing. And then somehow, my dad, which is also a big sport fan, told me, no, you're going to there, you will do fencing. If you really do not like it, we'll try to maybe transfer you to track and field and so on. So the fifth grade, really, fencing began in my life, like for real, because at the time, it was a long time ago, kind of, fencing.
You're not a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I'm just saying, in that time, fencing you could start after I think 10 years old. The younger kids couldn't do fencing at that time. So yeah, I don't know. I was 11, let's say, in the fifth grade. We start doing this, and yeah, I was like little grumpy about this. But then I figured out all the guys in my class were leftists. Like we were like 14 guys, and I believe 9 or 10 of us were lefties. And I say, okay, now is I know the selection key. And yeah, and I remember it was like a couple of months. It was just practice. We didn't fence. We just did drills, and it was not funny at all. And then the first school tournament, and I beat the kid from 8th grade. And that was the moment when you are like, that's funny. The 5th grader beat 8th grader. And then the next day I was walking on the corridor at the school hallway, and many people like, oh kid, you did great. You did good. And I said like, Then my like personal ego got like
Boosted.
and I said like, yeah, maybe give a try to that thing. And then I don't know, probably I was good and some we more competition. Then I got invited for the trip event, and that was like, nomination to Olympic Games. It was like, oh yeah, I'm going to Wrocław. It's like 500 kilometers trip. And I said like, holy lolly, it's 2 months till this competition. I was already ready for that event. And then we went there, and for me that's it. That sucked me in completely. I fall in love with fencing. It became my passion. As an athlete, more and more competition, more and more practices. I got selected to the team going to the Academy of Physical Education sports club. That was like elite varsity team there from our club. That was something like, oh yeah, that's I like. And then I met all these Olympians from my club, and I had like access to fence with somebody like 30 years old, 20 something years old. They were super old at the time for me. They of course beat me very bad.
Yeah.
They didn't let me even score the touch, but for me it was like, oh yeah, I like it, and if you score the touch, they were like, kid, you know what you just did? You cannot do that anymore. I was like, okay, but then I said like, oh yeah, I did it. Yeah, and that's it. And this emotional aspect, the athletic competition things, I found it. I found it my way. I found it I was okay. And then that was also another hard time. Last grade of elementary school, it's the 8th grade. All my friends decided to quit fencing because that 8th grade was like, you prepare for the exams to get to the high school. So many of all my men's side friends said, no, we're done with fencing. We focus on our exams, on our thing. And I said, no, I want to do it. But at the same time, when we finished the school, they all were going home to play on the computer or something, do some stuff. And I stay for practice another 2 hours. And I said, like, is it what I really want to do? And then I qualified for my first Polish championship. It was for the 15 years old kid. And we did gold with the team, and that's it. We won the gold. We were underdogs. There was like 3 teams above us pretended to the gold 100%. We were not even on the plans that to do it, on the project that we can do it. We destroyed them, we beat them, and that was like, holy lolly, I cannot do it. So then you go to the high school, and then that's it. And when I became like professional athlete, then my problem starts with my knees, and that's another thing. It was like.
So did your knee problems transition you from trying to become a professional athlete to more transitioning into the professional coach? Because
Yes.
we know that I know that you started very young as a coach. You were one of the few people that actually started their career as a coach at a very young age at the GSF, or was it not called GSF?
Yeah, there's a Gdańsk School of Fencing.
Yeah, GSF. Yeah. And how did that come about that you became a coach at such a young age? How old were you when you became a coach?
I was 21.
21, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was 99. It was struggle for last 3 years of my career. I was struggling with pain. The doctor says we can do surgery, we can do something, but the pain didn't go off. And the decision was like my parents never had enough money to pay for me for going to World Cups by my own expenses. The professional career reached to the level that you have to cover your equipment, which is super expensive at the time, relatively to my parents' income. And the decision were like, what I'm gonna do. In the meantime, before I became the coach, I started to refereeing as a very, very young guy. I was 17 when I was refereeing first Polish championship and some in the women's foil. So I was going as a man foil to compete, and I stayed for another day to serve as a referee. That was also good, and I think I was doing good that job. So that put me to access to the coaching staff more as a referee, as an official. And my coach at the time, which I worked in school, he came to me and said, Longin Schmidt, hey dude. So yeah, he came to me and he said like, hey, I think you're a good one to start working as a coach. I see how you deal with the kids, how you manage the problems, how you fix the problems, because I was helping also them to as a coaching staff at the same time. A lot of breaks with the injuries, so it makes me go. I still were going to the competition. I was still active, and they found it. He found it that this, I don't know, something in me that allowed him. So then there is a moment in your career that you have to practice a lot. You have to do a lot of stuff. I went to college. And yeah, I was in top 8 in Polish team, but the money wise it was harder to collect some money. I found some couple of sponsors to go to like 2-3 World Cups in the season, but 3 from 8 or 11, whatever at that time was. So you have like 3 chances to prove you strong, and it was always something missing. And yeah, but then there is a career as a referee. And in 1998, I became 20. And my other friend came and said, you're doing a good job as a ref, so focus on the refereeing thing. So I started being refereeing international in 1998 as a 20 years old. I was refereeing my first final in the World Cup in Venice.
And then suddenly, 10 years later.
Yeah, that will come too. So yeah, and that was like for me, okay, there is something I do in fencing still keep me in the top level, but I still try to do it, as an athlete. Of course, we did in the local area, in the national field. I was still in the top with my friends. We were a very good generation of fencer. That time, 90s for Polish fencing, it was like a very, very good, especially for the men's foil. And I think all 3 weapons were very, 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 very significant for the world fencing. So it was for me also super hard to get to top 4. As my friends were winning World Cups constantly. We were going and there is the first, second, third place, my friends. And it's like, if you are 5th or 6th in the world, doesn't give you any ticket to the world arena. And then I believe this refereeing also give me like way of thinking that I still gonna be in fencing. And then the Longin Schmidt came to me and say, hey, I have a class for you from 99 starting. It's a small group of kids. They need someone to take care of them. They were already existing students, so it was not like the starting beginners. They were already like a first group of middle school that was transitioning in this Polish school system. So I took them, I started working with them, and I found that, yeah, I like it, I really, in a really short time, I got connection with them. They They trusted me. They believe in me. I give them full time of me. And yeah, and then we did first medal, individual and the team. And then I was like, okay, you took the small group of people, you prove it, you can do it. And then in 2000, I got my first, like, very beginning group, and it was big group. It was 2 classes. The kids born in 1991, perfect group of kids. And that was the real challenge, At the moment, you teach them fencing, you have to create their personalities. 26 kids in one class and 26 kids in another class, divided by half boys and girls. It was like a lot of work, and that took me in. But then very quick, they became like solid athletes, solid. You can see like from they came as a little kids and they grow very quick to the student athlete position, and we start making good results. And
were they driven by the idea of you, were they driven? Were they driven because you were
I was young dude, come from the real fencing like an athlete. I was like passionate. I give them my passion because I'm very passionate about fencing. And Longenschmidt, which I work with, he's more passionate probably than me. It was my master Yoda of fencing for me. So we had very great communication, and he always said, "No, don't do this way, this." But he knew I'm new, I'm young, I'm angry, hungry, and I'm angry.
You brought the young energy into the
So it's like there was a group of 3 coaches, like a guru coaches for us. It was my coach who coached me is Stanisław Szymański, Tadeusz Pagiński, and then Longenschmidt. Those are like super trio in my club. And then they allowed the younger generation. It was Łukasz Szymański, Grzegorz Super, myself. We were 3 younger coach. I was the youngest from that 3, and we were passionate. We were hungry to follow their way. And and it was like, of course, I did tons of mistakes. When I think now from what I did with that group, it was like. But it's a rookie mistake. It's but the passion I give them, my heart. They always say your first real group. That's the most you put heart on, because this is which you try to, prove yourself and everyone else that you can do it. So but I keep. At the time when you think, we still keep contact. We still text each other. They have their own families. They have their own kids already. I love it. But I create the family. I create the group of family, which is perfect as a human things. But then when you think about the coach and an athlete, there was something missing from myself. I was probably too much for them. I didn't let them grow their way, like individuals. Fencing is an individual sport. Even with fence team events, it's all individuals' results going accumulate to the team results. So that was probably I was too much. I was like a father to them, like a brother maybe, older, and I think I little bit killed their individuality. When we going farther, every 4 years you get another group. So that's the moment when you realize, okay, I could make it maybe go this way. But you learn, you evaluate, you always meet with the coaches. Every year they evaluate your job and you listen. Was like examination every year.
So we hear that you put certain prospects on your past students and at this, but at what point were you like, okay, I'm becoming the coach of the Polish national team?
Oh, that's the stage.
At what point did you realize the switch from going more of a school teaching job and more of taking care of these younger incoming students that are trying to get the idea of fencing to these people that are what could be considered professionals. I mean, they're driven by the aspects of trying to qualify for the Olympics, trying to go to the World Cups all around the world. They have their ideologies on fencing set. These people are what one may call adults. They already have their mindset on what they want to do with the fencing. So at one point where you're like, okay, I want to take the challenge on working with those people that have the same passion for the sport as I do. They're not here to just goof around.
Okay, so when you come to the sports school like I get to, where you're coming into and you have Olympians there, world champion, medalist. My friends, we were fencing each other. They were doing gold medals in the world championships and so on. So you joining the community where is said clearly, win. And when the coaches gave me those trio coaches I mentioned before, when they gave me this group of 1991, the kids born in 1991 in the 4th grade, and as I say, it was big group, and they say, we expect you deliver to us 3 or 4 kids to the national team for senior level. So I know what was expectation from my coaches and what they expect from me, what I should deliver. So we have all the elementary school, middle school, high school, and then there's a real proper national team after the high school. So I know how much time I have to deliver. But at the same time, you have to keep stimulating young generation of people who have so many variety of things to do. So yeah, I think it was easy because I'm passionate. I give them my energy. I give them my hope. I give them my energy so much. It's like I cannot work in 50%. Wherever I go, whatever I do, it's 150%. So whenever I go to them and I say, hey, if you give me your 100, I give you my 150, we're going and we're going to have 250% of pure fencing work, and that's going to work together. And they believe in it. I buy it this way. And they became, as we start, they are kids. They did great in the Y10, Y12, Y14. Then we're going through this process. The cadet level is starting being professional way. And you see on the ranking, and if you have in top 10, I had like 6 of my girls. And I was like, okay, I'm doing okay. Yes, so those 6, okay. But there is another 5, another 4 behind top 10. When you see on the top 32, I had like 13 of my girls in the top 32 on the ranking. So that's my coaches like always, okay, we got. So how many of them will go to the senior level? And that's your pressure because the high school, they're going outside of the school. You have no contact with them that much. They have to come evening to the practices. There is mentality coming in, personal life, girls getting boyfriends, something, stuff like that. So you have to manage this area, which is completely different than fencing job. And then I start believe like, yeah, what about mental preparation? What about their mental skills to be professional? Where we can get into that moment that they understand why they're coming. It's not because of me. Most likely it was because of me because they feel my like I'm
Passion.
around them. And
Yeah.
but then I figured out it's them. They need to want to do it, not me. And that was like the moment for my career as a coach. Okay, I need to go back to school. I need to go back to the many things, and I have to verify how it works with these mental skills. And now, when I'm older coach, after all those years of thing, this is the most important part of being the coach. You have to control their mental skills, their mental preparation, technique basics, tactic based on the technique That's simple thing. That's a simple thing you can teach your fan. But give them passion and create their mentality. I don't have to, I want to. I'm coming to the practice because I want, not because my coach will waiting for me and check attendance. That's the real win you get when you see that you create the personality of individuals. They know what they want in that early age stage, which is really hard to manage.
But okay, so you talked about the being, this coach, mental preparation, and all those things. But do you prepare yourself mentally for big events such as you refereeing at the 2008 Beijing Olympics, or going to the 2012 London Olympics as a Polish national team coach? I understand that the fencers, they have to prep themselves mentally because that's what you do as a professional athlete. You have to be 100% ready for what is coming at you. And as a coach, you most of the time look at them, try to make sure that they are mentally prepared and everything. But I would assume that if they are already professional athletes, they have somewhat the ability to do that themselves. The question though is, how do you prepare yourself mentally for these events? Because you also have to be ready for what is coming at you. Or are you just cold with it and you just don't have pressure that is put on you? Okay. And with that, I kind of want to transition also into what is happening nowadays, where we are at Penn State University and the current NCAAs are happening. So okay. I'm asking two questions at the same time. How do you prepare for those two events? And then how do you prepare now as a university coach at the UNC University, or how you were a coach at the Penn State University? How do you prepare for the NCAA Championship as a coach? Because there are two very different events.
Yeah, you touched so many different areas. Referee. I was referee, as I said, very young, and I never feel pressure in a referee. I was exposed to the final, to the international finals in the competition as a young person, probably adaptation with that. Of course, you feel the pressure, you feel the stress. You see the legend and you ref them, and you're the one who have to call it. So it's like, okay, I can manage it, but you get the feedback that you did good, that give you those wings. And then 10 years later, as you mentioned, I got selected on the Fool's Day. They called me that I'm going to Olympic. I really didn't believe in it. But that was at the Acireale World Championship, Junior World Championship. And I got the email that I got selected as one of the staff officials representing Poland in fencing in Olympic Games in Beijing. That was big day. That was big thing. And then, then you start thinking, oh, shoot, that's going to change something. This is that. But, it's like excitement, but then there is a reality. It's still fencing, and you are just referee. Putting yourself as a referee is a different thing. You can put yourself, oh, I'm a referee. I'm the one who's going to decide to do what's going to happen on the street. I believe in Poland, when I start my fencing, they create me that, Kaszub, you just referee. You just help the athletes and their coaches to reach the target they're working on. So my position as a ref, I never put it as something I will be stressed out. It was my passion. It was the sport I love. It was thanks to my coaches. They teach me well all the fencing terms and understanding all the rules. And to be honest, I never ever had any pressure as a ref. But then you coming to this Olympics.
He doesn't feel pressure. No pressure.
No pressure. It was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, let's do it. And then you're coming to Olympic. I remember my first day of refereeing, and it's quiet. There's a call room is like this space. And normally where all the athletes making joke between each other in the World Cups, in the World Championship, they joking, they fools each other, and there is a quiet. Everyone in his corner, sitting on the bench, on the chair, wherever. And you as a official going to check if they have this, all equipment is checked already then. And I say like, why is so quiet? Why it's so much pressure here? Coaches somewhere else, students somewhere else, everyone by himself. And I say, oh shoot, this is not the same environment what is in the World Cups. And I was like, huh. And then you're going out from this. The atmosphere is also different. This all ceremony, you stepping on the strip, and there is like couple hundred of spectators on the tribunes, and they are cheering for the.
Were you part of the refereeing the final bout at the
Yeah,
Beijing
I was.
Olympics?
Yeah, I was doing semi-final.
As
Big
a head referee.
As a head referee. Yeah, I did all the stages. I didn't make it a gold medal match,
Okay.
but I did the bronze medal match. I did the semifinals. And yeah, that was the first time I feel like, that's something different. And the funny story, I had my meniscus broken, so I was on the crouches all the time. But on the final, I couldn't use the crouches to go to the stage and be ref, so I had to limping. It was like, I look so stupid on this big screen was then, and you see those athletes going. I feel like, then I was sweating. I will be honest with you, like the first day of this individual event, I was sweating when I was refereeing, and I said like, that's not normal World Cup. The kids are the same, the athletes are the same, coaches are the same, but the show is different. And then you understand that you are part of something not happening every year, every day. It's one time in 4 years. And yeah, and then it goes. When the first day passed, I say, okay, let's do it. And then was everything not smoothly well, because as everywhere there is expectation and there is something. So
Expectations with the
other camp.
with the 2012 Olympics.
Yeah, after Olympic in Beijing, when I back, our head coach got substitute, and my coach Longin Schmidt, which I worked, and he got named the head coach of the Polish national team, and he nominated me as his first assistant. So I started working with him. We were working together with the Polish team, which was at this time our Gdańsk fencers in the women's field. We were like dominating all this field. So we were technically worked with our girls, with our student athletes. There was a couple of girls, of course, phenomenal athletes from other clubs. They were joining us, but the number was like 15 to 5. It was Poznań, it was Torun.
Yeah.
So, but a couple of names. Mainstream was coming from our club and our job. So it was easy job. And the same, 4 years. 2009 we started the parties, at the different stage. We were going to the World Cups. We winning World Cups. We were taking top. 4 years passed. We're going to Olympics, and again this silent, and it's like deja vu. You're going and you say, I know that's silent, but now I'm as a coach, and I have to look at my athletes, and they are also hidden in the corner. But for them, it was like Sylwia Gruchała was on her 4th Olympic already.
Yeah.
She was in Sydney, Athens, Beijing,
and
and
London.
now in London. I say like, why they are acting like they are rookies on the party, But okay, it's very individual, and we took 5th place in Olympics. We lost to France, then we won all the other games. Disappointing, yeah. 2 years before we had silver medal in the World Championships. From this moment, the balloons start being bigger. Following year, we took 4th place in Catania in the World Championships. It was a little bit tricky because, like I say, we won the bronze medal like 3 times and we lost at the end because of some bad calls of the referees, which is normal in fencing. It's just so much pressure on them, which we talked before. I said, like, I never feel that pressure. But then when it comes to this moment, when you give medal or you take medal away, the people make a mistake. It's a human thing to have making mistake. And yeah, and that was the story of my being the coach with the Polish team. Firstly, when my kids were growing and they just made it to the national team of junior and cadet, then I go with them to World Championships with the cadets, with the juniors. That was like, yeah, it's a great story. It was great school. It is great school, and I know it's a part of my lesson to how to be the coach. I learned from the best, and so I cannot ask for something better.
Did that help you to transition into ending up in Cairo?
Well, yeah. After this, there was not happy people in the federation that we took 5th place. There was expectation for the medal. We were the only team qualified to Olympic Games, so we feel a little bit bitter when they said that we're not going to continue working with the team. Say like, we are the only team qualified to Olympic. We deserve more trust from the board. Things change. Other coach came back from Egypt.
From Cairo.
He took it over. He did medal individually with the men's for athletes, and yeah, he made the promise for the federation that he's gonna do the same with the team. Okay, the board gave them the trust. They didn't give us the trust, and yeah, transition. So
at the
switched. Yeah, that was the World Cup in Petersburg where I went still as a Polish coach, but I know there is a new coach, and it was like little strange feeling because 3/4 of the athletes are my athletes, and normally I will go with them even if I'm coach or not coach of the national team. But either way, I will be there. But I was there, and it's like, they see me. They see my face that something is wrong and so on. And then Egyptian Federation reached out to me, say, what about you come and coach the Egyptian team? And I said, like, I was bitter at the time in my heart after that. And I say, yeah, let's give a try. Let's give a shot. And that's the thing, like, changing culture, changing environment, 360. You're going from Poland to Cairo to Egypt, and you start working. But the same thing, very quick, they give me the trust. I found very nice communication levels with the athlete. There were more pressure on the men's side of the sport group. I take care of the female also star, and it was okay. It was 4 years of great job. A little, of course, stairs up and down, but the results we did, it was something. They had a lot of podiums, and as a team, I believe when I came to Egypt, they were like 14, 15 on this World Cup level. I bring them to top 8, and yeah, then life-changing trip to America after Olympic in Rio.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the decision was made by the different subject, aspect. Yeah. And now we are here in USA. And now, after 3 years in California, it was private club where I work as a coach for the club. No pressure, no expectation, just regular daily job.
With little kids?
With little young kids, create,
But is it the same way as what you did in Poland? How it's
you try. You do the same. You teach them you give them all your knowledge. I don't hide something from Polish kids to give it to them. No, you do the job the same like you've been. But yeah.
Is the passion different though? The passion
when I went to
not
Egypt,
not from you. The passion from the students in Poland and in California, the drive to be the
Polish.
Is the drive for the American kids a little bit different in the matter of trying to become the top athlete? Because I feel like when you're in Poland, many of the kids are like, I want to go to the Olympics. I want to get.
Yeah, that's the target they're looking for. And they're looking World Championship. They're looking Olympics. In USA, the kids looking for college. That's the main target. And then they trust me, they don't even know what's going on. It's their parents. They have their mission. Okay, because of fencing, my kid gonna be in Harvard Ivy League school
Princeton.
level. all Ivies, and then maybe Duke, maybe Notre Dame, maybe UNC. Those are like Penn State, of course, Ohio State. There is 46 schools doing fencing in the collegiate level, and I believe.
By now he has it remembered.
Huh?
By now you remember how many colleges there are.
It's changing, you know. Programs are opening, programs are closing. You know, it's all about money, still. You know, but yeah, the factor putting kids into fencing in USA is totally different. Then I think, but the number of athletes is huge. You know, you're going to the national event in America, in USA, and you have over 400 kids in my event, and you have like 6 events during the weekend. So it's a couple of thousand of fencers in a weekend, which is in Poland, I believe it's around 100. So, you know, you select top 4 best athletes from a couple of hundreds, and you select top 4 from
1,000.
10,000. No, I think a couple of hundreds in USA, but in Poland and in other European countries, it will be still around 100 kids. Of course, France, Italy, those are the countries they still fencing is in the local. Every village have a fencing club, so it's still very national party for them to be the part of the fencing community. But yeah, in other sport, like after Olympics, like Germany didn't qualify any team in last Olympic Games in Paris. That's something unbelievable, you know, the powerhouse like them. Poland qualified 2. Three teams: men's foil, women's foil, and women's epee, and the bronze medal for them.
For women's epee.
Women's epee, that's
yeah,
beautiful.
Bronze medal for women's epee with our Penn State epee assistant coach Renata Knapik. She works at Penn State right now. She's a bronze medalist. We're actually trying to bring her on the podcast as well. After my dad, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there is a possibility their future guest on the podcast will be also Renata.
Renata is a great athlete, great person.
You know Renata well from growing. Even though she's a different weapon. She wasn't foil, but
I was also referring at them.
Yeah, exactly.
So many times I go with them when they were little young, and I was referring them in the junior level, the cadet level, not cadet level maybe now, but junior level and the senior level. I've been a couple of times with the different weapons to keep my, you know, spectrum of what's going on. Yeah, that's the story, you know. It's all about passion, I believe. If you the hardest part of your life, if your job is your passion, that's very tough, you know. It's a good because you don't get tired of it because you always want more and more and more. But the other aspects are going to the second plan. Maybe that makes things maybe a little harder when you come to USA. When I came to USA, and now it's your second question: how is it to work as a NCAA and a university coaching? It's very similar to be the national team coach because you're not teaching student athletes fencing, how to fence. You recruit the strongest you can at the moment. So if I recruit in my last year and Penn State coach, I recruit 5 medalists from the junior world championships. So you're not gonna bring the world champion. You're not gonna bring world champion to your program and start telling him, "Hey, I'm gonna teach you fencing now," because he's already world champion. You have to create the environment and create him everything, give him everything that he feel comfortable, and you just evaluate his fencing higher and higher. You know, the way you fence, the specific of fencing in in NCAA is completely different. It's a 5 touches bout, which is totally different than 15 touch bout. It's by time, shorter period, more intensity of your physicality, and strength, mental strength, condition. So that's the important aspect you work now. Now I'm evaluating myself also. It's been 5 years I work with the NCAA.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still learning. Like we are now, I'm working at UNC with the beautiful program. The people are super nice. We try to create, strong team, but it takes time. This is the process. And now we qualify 4 athletes for NCAA, which are happening now at Penn State. 4 kids made it. It's 100% more than last year. They only made it 2. So it's a big step. But of course, the maximum athletes you can qualify for NCAA championship is number 12. So 2 athletes, each weapon, each gender. And that's our target, I think, in the next 3-4 years to bring the 12 to the championship. And then you can really think that you can make NCAA championship as a team, which is the most prestigious result. And then now you are asking me how is it to be in Penn State and Penn State is a powerhouse for fencing. Total 16 NCAA championships,
So
13 in the new era. So
okay.
Yeah, so of course, you've worked both at UNC as well as Penn State. I mean, they're definitely 2 different atmospheres from what I've heard from Kai when he went down
To UNC, yeah.
a few weeks ago.
I was there for the ACC championship, so I
Yes.
think I got to see the big part of it.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, which one do you think has like a better atmosphere? Just, is there really
Let's say like
a way to compare them?
I didn't complain about atmosphere in my team at Penn State, but we had different expectations. You're joining the powerhouse, you're joining the 13 national championships in the new era of fencing. Expectation is deliver. Give us another NCAA championship.
Well, Penn State is the most
Yeah, it's the most decorated program still in Penn State. Wait, because now wrestling at
Wrestling is
Philadelphia gonna deliver the number 13, so they're gonna tie. They're gonna tie the results. Yeah, but yeah, different expectation from me as a assistant coach. I came to Penn State in 2019. Expectation is like deliver, qualify. We give you the good athletes, and you do it, and it's like the pressure and the expectation are different, but the kids are the same. Like they are strong kids, and I have strong kids there, and I have strong kids here. Just different expectation.
Underdogs at UNC. So
Yes, this is what I say.
Not underdogs because you have like
There are some-
Wayne State that are underdogs, but you're still underdogs in comparison to Penn State, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame at
Columbia.
the moment is a powerhouse of all time in last decade. They create a system that the kids, like I said from the beginning, the kids wanna go there. The kids wanna join that program. Penn State had this hegemony for 20 years in 90s and 20s. It was the same thing.
90s and 2000s, right?
In
Yeah.
2000,
Yeah.
So 90s and 2000. And I say like 13 national championships and 11 runner-up. So you can see that it's 24 years of being on the top 2. So this is a really, really, really strong team here. Joining UNC, expectation from me probably is to create that powerhouse, but that's need time. The NCAA's rules change so much. So, we are in the region where we have 13 schools and 6 are massive. It's very, very strong team. You have UPenn, you have Princeton, you have Duke, you have UNC, you have Penn State, you have Temple in women's. Then those are the houses where the fencing is a main sport. So and you have only a couple of spots left because the new regulation says that you don't have 8 spots, you have 6 spots, which with the number of athletes you have, and they are all representing their countries in the World Championships, in the Olympic Games, and some. So that's That's something you think like, wow, how are we gonna do it? Me as a UNC coach, I have to be look realistic, like, okay, it's gonna be hard, but we made it, and I say like hard work, understanding. Individuals in our program already are here, and they're gonna stay for a couple of years still. The one only, the Sofia Kovac, is graduating
Yeah.
this year. She is the
She's
yeah,
really good.
She
She's
is
amazing.
the top athlete from USA. She gonna make it today, hopefully, and tomorrow. This is what I wish for her because
I hope she gets the
yeah, she
top.
deserves.
She
She
deserves a
like,
top 3.
She deserves to be in top 4 and make the hard work bring home. I say, all the rest are freshmen and sophomores, so there is a lot of work to do. Like Peter Brook, which I work individual now.
Who qualified? He was the only man to qualify. Only man
Only
foil,
men's foil
foil
who
to qualify
qualified to
for
the
NCAA.
finals. He made it in the freshman year, so and he did a great job. He won 13 balls up out of 23. He beat Notre Dame. He beat a couple of individuals are top ranked in the world. So I'm just believe like you work, you have it, and just let's do it. Consistency and determination. Yeah. So the work with with the NCAA is pretty familiar to create the process. The same like you taking national team, you not teach them fencing. You just taking the best athletes of your country to select them to represent your country in the world tournaments. Here is the same. You bring to your program the best. You're not teaching. You just give them all the environment, all the resources to create them strong and make them strong.
Yeah. So we talk about UNC, Penn State. We've been through your journey, how you even got into fencing and all of this. And with this idea of fencing, you travel a lot.
Oh yeah.
You travel a lot. You've traveled a lot around the world. You've been to a lot of places. I would like to say that I've been to a lot of places, but you've been to more places than I have been. But it comes with your exactly. It comes with age. It comes with everything. So right now you've spent in August is going to be 9 years since we've both been in the United States.
Yeah.
So it's already like closing in on
Decade.
almost 10 years. So, but do you see yourself going anywhere else past this United States? Because you've already worked at a club in the United States, you worked at 2 different universities, and you have a program right now that you're continuing. I'm not saying in the next 5 years of leaving United States, maybe 10, maybe in the future, but do you see yourself still have the drive to maybe coach a national team in anywhere else around the world? Not particularly Poland. It doesn't have to be Poland, since we know that you've coached at Egypt, Cairo. I mean, I don't even know if you would like to take the challenge of going back to Poland, but would you consider going anywhere else around the world still, or are you more of like, I like this university thing. I like to work with those students. I prefer this type of job now.
I think it's all about what you feel in the moment. At the moment, I'm very happy with the program of UNC and creating strong program over there. The head coach Matt Jednak and Sharif El Bakri, which we work together, we are a great team, and I couldn't ask for better team to work with. As a coaching staff, there is Peter Kunz as our operation manager. I think we all 4 in the great condition and great shape and a good environment to push it further. National team, okay. My concept coming to USA was also personal because of you.
Of course.
It's like don't take me wrong, first year in USA was not the best moment of our life.
No, neither of our.
And even in California, which people say, oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful when you go for a visit.
No,
the idea coming to USA was to create for you better future. That was kind of my sacrifice of this national coaching staff, because I say like, okay, I'm done with the national team for now, for a while. I take care of you, I grow you, I raise you, and it was most likely, decision which we make as a parents. It's not easy moving from far Poland to USA, but I think it was wise decision, and as I see you doing great, so it's another victory on the field, and that's, I cannot be more proud as a father that, yeah, for the moment I lost my trust that the fencing and family you can match. That was the thing, traveling 260 days out of home because of competition camps, which was very easy to calculate when you check your calendar. And then decision, okay, let's go to USA, to the local club. Things gonna be changed. You see after yourself that you're doing good, you're doing great. So I believe decision made was good. Working at Penn State, another experience. Working at UNC now, another experience. It's all about experiences. If you find some challenges and you find your expectation, that's keep me working.
Was working at a club with young kids. The biggest in the United States was the biggest
that was challenge.
I was going to say challenge for you.
Coming out from the national level to the regional level, taking 6-7 years old kid, which in my career I never worked with that. As I said, in my age the kids start at 10. Now you have 6, 7, 8 years old kid coming. Hey, you teach me now. And I said, like, holy lolly, is it real? He just say that to me, they are nice kids, and it's like, but it was challenge, giving 15 lessons a day, 16, 18 lessons a day. I said like, oh, wow, this is the way you work here in USA. This was private sector is very brutal. You do, you make,
So you're back at Penn State now for the NCAAs. Do you feel sentiment coming back?
Oh yeah, of course. I have my son here in the state.
Well, besides me,
sentiment is always
in the
because
world.
I never burn my bridges, as you said. It's so people living past and they're burning the bridges. They're not coming back. I have a big sentiment. I have all the Penn State team is most likely my recruits. Those are my kids, as I call them. They're grown people already, but they are my kids. When I see them, they see me and they coming to me, they hugging me. I still feel like in my family, the situation just changed that,
You switched the tone of blue. That's the only change.
Oh yeah, I'm the brighter blue. But now I have my kids in there.
Yeah.
In UNC, they also hugging me. They love me. They wanna work. They give me their trust. They give me their thing. So I cannot ask for more from the student athletes to trust me and believe in me. And if you can see that we do it good, and in the many occasion of the meets, we did great job and they proved their quality. What can I ask as a coach for more? There is no other field I ask for more. So coming back to Penn State, of course, it's a part of my life. It's a 4 years of hard working, of recruiting, of dealing with the kids, which now graduating and they saying goodbye to some of them, living back to Europe, some of the starting their life here in USA, some of them going back to different states. They came from California, they came from different part of America. Yeah. So, seeing them happy, I'm happy, seeing them unhappy, which also happening, it makes my feelings also hard that why things went this way, but I think changes are for good, Now I'm in the other place. Let's see how it's gonna work there. Back to your question, if I'm ready to challenge national team job and for another country, I really miss Poland now. I'm going back to Poland and I have sentiment to Yes. I'm going back to Poland. I have people I love there. These are people I live with them, and this is people I think about on the daily basis. So, as you know, it's 10 years here in USA plus 3.5,
4 years.
almost 4 years in Egypt. My journey in the international, I think, yeah, I'm okay. I still gonna be here probably for a couple of years. I don't know. Let's see what life brings to you. But I'm ready to take over some other challenges. Maybe I don't know. Coming back to Poland to see your friends, to see people you love, to see it's only good vibe. There is no bad vibe. Going back to work, then it starts to raise the question. So yeah, for now, yeah, I'm in UNC. I'm happy in Chapel Hill. Let's live it this way. I'm going back to Poland more often now, checking with the close one. So yeah,
All right.
it's good.
So I think the best way to end this would be for thanking you to come on this podcast, Dad. Really happy that you could join us. I mean, we heard so much about your journey for coming here, and then both of us we chimed in a little bit, but we just really wanted to get your view on this journey that you had and on all of this, and we're really grateful that you agreed to join the podcast and be our first guests.
First official
First
guest.
official
First
guest.
official guest.
First
On the
official
podcast,
guest.
and this is only the beginning. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for telling your story.
Exactly, and yeah, I guess to the next episode, and we'll catch you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys, and wishing you great with this your journey here about the podcast. Yeah, I wish that, and thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
Yes.